Good morning, artists. Today we are going to come back to our 1-point perspective 3D room, and we are going to learn how to add a set of stairs as well as the floor. So I've had some really great questions coming in about whether you can add things to the room, and so I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. When we're done going through the whole drawing process, there's going to be a slight twist to this project, and the twist at the end is that you're going to be able to make changes, take things out that you don't want, add things in that you do. We're actually going to be talking about an entirely different style of artwork called surrealism, so stay tuned for that. As we move through this, we're just really basically working on 1-point perspective drawing techniques right now, but please know that when we get later into this drawing, you are going to be able to individualize it and make it your own, so it will look different than anyone else's. Okay? All right, so moving forward, we're going to start with the stairs, which we're going to put in right here, going up this doorway right here. And so what you will need is a pencil with a good eraser, as you probably have found out by now with this process, and also a ruler or a straight edge. Rulers are best. So what we're going to do to start our stairs, and actually I'll give you a little sneak preview because I have some examples of these, but they're done on a much larger piece of paper, it would be what we would have done if we were in person. So here is the doorway, and you can see that the stairs really are a zigzag line with all these lines pointing toward the vanishing point. So take a look at that zigzag. That's really what we're going to be starting with. I also want to show you that we are going to be moving onto the floor. You will have an option of creating a hardwood floor like the one that you see here, or you can opt for a checkerboard floor, which looks like this. Now, of course, it doesn't look checkerboard yet because it hasn't been actually colored that way, but we're going to just create the drawing itself. Okay, so now that you've seen where we're headed, let's get started with our stairs. So for the stairs, basically what you're going to do is you are going to take your ruler and place it along that horizontal line that you created to show that you can walk through the door. So I'm going to place my ruler right here, and I'm going to make my first stair tread, and we won't be able to see much of the stairs, by the way, but it's just kind of a fun illusion to play around with. So I'm going to make my stair treads about, let's say, a 1/2 inch. So this is the halfway mark right here. So I'm just going to make a little mark. So 0 is at the corner, little hash mark at the half point here, so 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to place it vertically at that little hash mark that I made, and I'm going to make another mark. In fact, when it's there, I can actually make a mark right straight down. Okay, so this is the beginning of our zigzag line. We're going over and then up. So right now we can take the opportunity to erase right here because we won't need that anymore, that floor line, and get rid of it. Now we're going to make the next part of our zigzag line. So we're going to place our ruler at the edge of that line that we just made. And again, we're just going to come across 1/2 inch. Now for most of us, depending on how wide you made your door, this is probably where your stairs are going to start to disappear, behind this doorway here, this edge. So now I'm going to place, I did that without really telling you, but I made a line to the 1/2 inch mark again. And now I'm going to make a vertical again. So I'm just going to place it down. The 1/2 inch mark is here. And now I'm just going to go up. There's the 1/2 inch mark. Okay. And then this is where I'm going to end up going right off the edge. So I'm just lining my ruler up flush with that vertical line I just made, and off I go. So now you can see the zigzag line. All right. Now, here comes the magic. This is a really fun part. So find your vanishing point, and you're going to place your ruler at the vanishing point and then at the first corner. Okay, not here because this is the doorway, but the first corner of your zigzag. So I'm going to come up right up here, place it on the first corner, and make a line. Boom. Then I am going to just rotate the ruler. So I'm still at the vanishing point over here. I'm rotating to the next edge, and boom. Just like that. Now I'm going to rotate again to the next corner. Okay, so don't skip up to the top of the tread. You need to do this part right here. So I'm just going to rotate it and boom, just like that. And then I'm going to keep rotating and boom, just like that. So now you can see that it looks like I could actually walk up those stairs. Just kind of a cool illusion to create. And again, practice the stairs, but again, in the end, you might decide you want to get rid of them. So that's going to be totally up to you, but please practice doing it on your drawing so you know how to do it. All right, next we come to our floor. Now the first floor I'm going to demonstrate is going to be a checkerboard floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my ruler horizontal at the bottom edge of my back wall, just like this. Now, my wall just so happens to be 4 inches. If yours isn't a, perfect whole number here, just kind of eye it. And you want to separate this back line into equal parts. So what I mean is, if mine's 4 inches, it makes sense for me to just make a little line, 1 inch, 2 inch, see the big line next to the number, and 3. Now 4 inch will be at this edge and 0 will be right here. Okay. Now again, if yours isn't perfect, just kind of eye it and break it up into equal parts, just like so. Now I'm going to take my ruler, vanishing point, place it here, and check it once, check it twice, and then once you're sure it's on the right spot, make a line. Okay, all the way off the edge of your paper. Next, vanishing point, next dot that you made, off the edge. Vanishing point to your dot. When you're ready, off the edge. So right now it kind of looks like a striped floor, which actually is the same way that we're going to be creating our hardwood floor. Okay? All right, now we're going to create some horizontal lines. So you're going to place your ruler, and remember, whenever you're making a horizontal or vertical, super important that you make your ruler flush with the side of the paper. So I'm going to place my ruler here, and I'm going to decide, okay, I want my first tiles here, or, checkers in my checkerboard, whatever you want to call it. I want it to be right about here. So I'm going to hold my ruler still. Don't let it slide around. Hate that when that happens. And then next one, I'm going to make it about the same. Now, if we really continue with the illusion, as things get closer to you, they get bigger or smaller. They get bigger. So if I really want to continue with that illusion, I would slightly increase, like very slightly increase my squares here. Okay. Now I left this one open because this tile would probably, it would end right here. So I'm just going to come along. I'll put that in. Okay. And then I probably would have my line continue there. Okay. All right. Next tile set here. I'm going to make a horizontal line. And there we are. Now it's really important that it be flush, because you will notice that if you end up not making it flush, the tiles just won't look right. And then you'll want to erase the whole thing, and it's a real pain. So just take the time to make your ruler flush. All right. And there is my checkerboard floor. Okay. Yours might be smaller. It might be larger. Totally fine. Okay. So I want to show, for those of you who would really prefer to do like the hardwood floor that I showed you earlier, I want to show you the difference. It's actually very similar in terms of the steps. So I'm just going to go through that. Now I have this vertical one that I had done before, so I'm going to use this as my example. Okay. There's no stairs here because I don't want to take your time doing that over again. I'm going to do the hardwood floor. So my back wall here is about 3 inches. So again, you're going to break it up into equal increments, but usually wood, unless it's the wide plank wood, it's going to be thinner than how we made our tiles. So I'm going to actually make my back wall break up every 1/2 inch. So watch this. I'm going to go to the halfway mark, then to the 1, then to the 1.5, then to the 2, then to the 2.5, and then my side wall will be the 3. And again, I start at 0. Okay. So same thing here. Ruler comes to the vanishing point, and I'm going to go to my first little hash mark that I made, and boom, right off the edge of the paper. Next one, and boom, right off the edge. Vanishing point to my dot, off the edge. Vanishing point to the dot, off the edge. And over again until you've done your whole wall. Now, I know that I've got this guy over here. So if I want to continue my hardwood floor here, I'm just going to make that line. And it probably would continue into that room if I wanted to. That would actually really help the illusion. So maybe I'll do that right there. Okay. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, probably would be maybe like that. Okay, so you can see the floor continues into the other room. Now, once you've made your stripes, now what happens is with a wood floor, depending on how long the pieces of wood are, there's going to be a seam that's horizontal. Now, you want to stagger your seams, which means don't put them all in the same spot because it just doesn't look right. So let's say that this is one piece of wood. Then maybe I'll make this one over here to have the same length. But now I'm going to make some others. So I'm going to make my next one, the seam's going to be here. Maybe the next one over here, the seam will be here. So I'm just I'm making them in all different places, kind of randomly so that it doesn't look too regular, because that is how hardwood floors really work. And then maybe I'd put another seam maybe right here, or maybe right here, and then boom, my hardwood floor is done. Okay, and it really just helps out the whole illusion. So to wrap it up, we worked on the floor. We also worked on the stairs from the other picture. Let me bring mine back here. So take your time to develop those things. Grades are closing on, let's see, it says grades close, where are we? March 12th. Second trimester ends. So that's when grades close. And I will be grading you on whatever was due before then, okay? So please be working on developing your room. We will come back to this next time, and I will be introducing a whole new art style called surrealism, and talk about the next steps of developing this drawing. Keep the pictures coming in, guys. You're doing an awesome job, and I hope you're all doing well. Have a great week.